Hi guys, and welcome to the Batch Lady, where I show you how to make fast, simple homemade meals you can make in advance, put in your freezer and use whenever you want. And today we are talking about fantastic shepherd's pie. Shepherd's pie made with lamb, okay? So I've got some oil in a pan here and we're just about to get going. So we are going to use some rosemary, some lamb mince, an oxo cube. We've got our lovely staple ready-made mash. We've got lots of vegetables here that are just about to go in. So let me just get started really quickly. Shepherd's pie, a great old traditional favourite. Brilliant if you're having any oldies over, and actually young kids love it. You can make it in tiny little ramekins and portions and individual sizes. It's really easy and I'm going to show you how to do it. Okay, right, you're going to start off with your frozen onions, okay? So you need 1 cup of frozen onions. Now I know I've got a cup left, so I don't need to use my big cup size. 1 cup of frozen onions, and this is where I have to chat a bit louder, okay? So you want to get them in and you want to get them softening. And get them on your heat. And I want 1 cup of my frozen carrots. Okay, so all frozen stuff. You just get it straight in, okay? Here we go. I'll just put the rest in, I'm not going to leave that little bit. Frozen carrots are in, frozen onions are in, and you're going to give it a mix around, and you basically just want to wait till it softens. Just till it softens, and then you can get going with your minced lamb. Now, minced lamb can be quite tricky to find. I really struggled to get this. I went to Sainsbury's, I went to Tesco's, I went to Morrison's, and actually I ended up getting this in Lidl. But I tell you something, lamb is expensive, but this is not. Minced lamb in Lidl was not cheap. 500 gram, it was cheap, sorry. 500 grams, and I got this for £2.20, I think, which is unbelievably good. So if you want to try something other than beef or chicken or whatever you're using, why not try lamb like this? It's a really good way to do it. So once your onions and your carrots have softened, in goes your lamb. Okay guys, so my, what have I got in here? I've got my mince, my onions, and my carrots, okay? And that mince has just browned to no more, so while it's just still having another little bit at the end, I'm going to add in my can of tomatoes. I'm going to add my dried stock cube and just give it a, like, you know, do it with your fingers, get it all sort of crumbled down. Just quickly wash my hand. Okay, give that a mix around. And that already starts smelling absolutely delicious. Okay, now because it's lamb, you want to probably add some rosemary, okay? And I'm going to add, you just need a half a teaspoon. You're going to add 2 tablespoons of red currant jelly. You can just buy cheap, any old red currant jelly. It gives a really nice taste to lamb. So it's going to melt it and make it into a really nice sauce. Okay? And we're going to give that a mix around. And lastly, you're going to add your peas, okay? So you're going to add your frozen peas. Now, you can either add these frozen peas now and allow it to go into the sauce, or you can simply add them at the end when you take it out if it's going in the freezer. So if it's going in this dish, you could just pour all of this out and then put your frozen peas in. You don't need to worry about cooking them. You're going to put them straight back in the freezer. But just for today, I'm going to add them in, okay? And give it a stir around. Now that smells and looks amazing already. So okay, so this is shepherd's pie. So you want the red currant jelly just to have time to seep in. So I'm just going to move this onto the simmering plate and I'm just going to leave it for 5 to 10 minutes. That's all it'll need. So okay, as you can you see that? This is now finished simmering. So I just gave it 5-10 minutes just while I did a quick sweep up and tidied everything up. I'm not a big fan of things that have to simmer, but this one actually, because it's got the red currant jelly and everything, it's so good. So you then want to take your mushrooms, okay, just your raw mushrooms, and add them in. Now you'll notice I do this a lot with dishes. I don't like mushrooms cooked down, you know, till they're sort of mushy and soggy. This is going to go in an oven and it's going to cook at 180 for 30 to 40 minutes. This is once it's defrosted. So at the moment it's going, and it's going to cool down and go in the freezer. But that cooking time, once it's defrosted and everything, those mushrooms will be just perfect. So you really just want to put them in raw like that. I've just cut them in half. So we want everything out of our pan. I can't tell you how nice this smells. I mean, absolutely. Can you see the steam? Oh, it's delicious. I put this into a freezer dish, okay? just like I would a cottage pie or a lasagna. But this is what you want to do if you've got a lot of room in the freezer. If you don't have a lot of room in the freezer, you just want to decant it once it's cooled. So leave it in the pot till it's cooled, and then decant it into a freezer bag that's labelled, and then let it cool down, seal it, and have it flat for your freezer, okay? So I'm going to be using this week, so I've actually got my mashed potatoes already, so I'm going to make it up. And I've got a big freezer, so if I needed to, it can go straight in the freezer. But if you don't have a big freezer, in like this, and add these to your shopping list on the week that you need them, okay? So, as everybody knows, I quite often use these Mars Pipers, Tesco, already mashed potatoes. They've got everything in them that I would use to make mashed potatoes. There's no added extras. They freeze brilliantly. They cook fantastically. I am all about time saving. That is what the Bachelor Day is about. It's not about anything else. It's about saving time, saving headspace. Give it a go. Shepards Pie. Very easy, traditional food, made really simple, frozen in a couple of different ways. It's fantastic. Recipe at www.bachelorday.com. Bye!